My name is Chloe.
My name is Ailbhe.
I'm going to talk about anxiety and perfectionism.
And my constant battle with trying to be the best at everything. Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about today.
Being human and imperfect, you can't sustain that, and I couldn't sustain it.
I first realised anxiety and perfectionism was an issue for me, I suppose at the end of my Leaving Cert. I achieved 510 points in my Leaving Cert and didn't get my first choice on my CAO.
I got really exhausted from trying to look like I was coping.
I was drinking too much, I wasn't getting out of bed, I wasn't coming to college, I wasn't really engaging with my family.
I guess being a perfectionist, I was so resistant to admitting that I had a problem. I really didn't want to admit I had a problem.
And I just remember that disappointment from everyone. And I remember feeling really unsupported and misunderstood.
Every assignment I'd get would be, I have to do brilliant on this, I have to put everything into this. And at the same time, I was losing it and I was in despair. So it was difficult juggling despair and perfectionism at the same time.
And just beating myself up about not doing what I should have done.
Basically, the first time I sought help was with a student nurse at the health centre.
And I'd had counselling before for other issues in secondary school. So I just kind of came up to Distillery Road and knocked on the door and asked would anyone see me. And then I went to the GP as well to get help from them.
And the way she wasn't judgmental, I just felt at ease, and I just kind of laid it all bare on the table and said, this is my situation, I need help. And I got help then. Well, she recommended me to go to the counselling services.
Things got worse for a little while just because then you have to kind of start working through all the stuff.
Being honest to another human being enabled me to be honest to myself, and that was the real turning point.
At different times, college work can seem hugely overwhelming. Either be it the amount or the time frame. The one thing I do is timetable and list. So I timetable and list everything.
It was just the desire and the commitment to get better was the most important thing, and making a real commitment to that. And then once you make that commitment, you begin to see results.
I love walking and listening to music. So if everything is getting too much, I just put down the pen, put on my headphones and go for a walk along the prom. And it's actually the best medication you could ever ask for, yeah.
Why should I have to hide the fact that I'm human and I have challenges? Why should anyone have to hide that fact, and why should anyone have to feel shame with respect to that? Because there's no shame at all in having challenges, and there's no shame in getting help.
Giving back, volunteering, things like that aren't measured by grades, but that make you, a more rounded person and help to relieve pressure of anxiety and perfectionism as well.
Everything's more genuine, and it's almost like for the first time I'm kind of really appreciating the importance of relationships and connections to other people.
It's something I still have the real need to be a perfectionist or the want of the good grades, but now I've come to realise that good enough is also good, and it's not a reflection on a bad thing of your personality. It's just good enough for what you put in at that time.
I thought at best I might be able to tell a couple of people, and but to do this now on this scale and genuinely not have any concern about what people think is really empowering as well.